So, hello again guys and welcome to Rage Against the Dice. Today we are looking at gaming mats. Well, one specific to be exact, and that's from tinywargames.co.uk. And this is their green grass 4 foot by 4 foot cloth mat. And as you can see, it fits my 4 foot by 4 foot table nicely. It would fit more so had I lined it up correctly. But that's my bad, no one else's. What we're going to do first is we're going to have a look down at the detail on the mat. This is one of my first times using a cloth mat. I usually prefer PVC or mouse mat. Now this company does two different types of mats, which are cloth and rubber. And so it's the cloth we're looking at today. I am impressed with the quality of the mat, and I'm impressed with some of the other mats that I've seen. So I definitely do want to take a look into the rubber. But they're a British-based company based out of Kent, which I always find very appealing because it usually saves on postage costs and quickness. I mean, this was like a 3 or 4 day turnaround, and that's including the weekend. So what we're going to do first is we're going to go in and we're going to look at the level of detail on it. So here you have the mat itself, and it is a very nice green, and it looks very battlefieldy, very, very good for fantasy, very, very good for historical battles, things like that. We plan on using it for Lord of the Rings, or Middle-earth strategy battle games it's now called. It has these cool little details here, which are like your stone effects and things like that, and they don't overpower the board. There are a few of them, and it's just to add different texturing, so different look of texturing to the board itself. But they don't overpower it, so you still have majority grass, meaning if your terrain and stuff is very grass-based, it's going to look very, very good. You have some sort of like lumps of foliage and things like that there. And all in all, it's a very, very nice mat. It's not very thick, which obviously has its pluses and minuses. Pluses means it's very, very easy to store. It just folds up. You can see the creases where I've had it folded up. It does iron though, and I have tried it and I did iron it. I was a bit dubious, so I put a tea towel over the top of it. So I haven't put an iron directly on it, but I'm sure you could try if you wanted to. Just remember, as a disclaimer, I have said I didn't do it direct. I did it on top of a tea towel, and the mat was under, but the mat was fine, and it did iron it out. But since then, obviously, I've stored it away again. Obviously the negative of it being a very thin cloth mat is it could potentially tear or something like that. But again, like with all gaming mats, it's your responsibility to look after it properly. And if you don't, then you don't. Price-wise, it's really, really reasonably priced. And we are going to look at their website and look at some of the other designs and things like that. And we're also going to look at the pricing structure, because they have a very good structure in terms of, for the standard mats on their site, you buy per size and material, as opposed to 2 4-foot tables. One's grass, so it costs you €30, and one's got road maps on, so it costs you €50. A 4 foot by 4 foot mat, for the most part, will cost you the same. There's probably a few exceptions, but I haven't noticed any on the site itself. One thing that I would say, they have some really, really cool ones in the way of like Guild Ball, pitches marked out and things like that. That's very, very cool. They also cover a lot of drop zone and drop fleet, which of course, as you guys know, I'm very, very much into. So I suppose I do have some bias in terms of they cover a lot of games I really, really like. So what we're going to do is we're going to get some terrain set up on here. Just a few sparse bits just to show you what it can look like. One of the things that the website also brags is that you can basically drape this over terrain. So we're going to have a look at that as well, just to see. And then what we're going to do is we're going to pop across to their website and have a look at some of their other stuff. But yeah, in terms of the mat itself, first opinion, as it's out on a flat table, I really like it. It looks good from close up, as well as it looks pretty good from up on a height. So yeah, let's get some terrain on this and see how it looks. So this clearly isn't set up as if it was a battle. I can just say that straight from the off. I've just popped a few on to see how it would look. Now straight away, because this has no border or anything like that, this looks beautifully in place. And this is a piece of scenery that you will have already seen. from our product review. And it's not Games Workshop's Weathertop, which is made of resin and you can get from Forge World. This is one that's made of a polystyrene-based foam board. I'm not going to go too much into that because, this isn't about the terrain on the board. It's about the board itself. Now, this bit, obviously, because I've made this and I've given it a brown base to match one of my other boards, it still looks in place, though. As you can see, the grasses and stuff are very, very close. Then you've got bag end over there, again looks pretty close, and then you've got a single piece there. So with terrain on, it still looks really, really good. So what we're going to do now is I'm just going to pop a bit of terrain underneath and see how that looks. So bear with me 1 second, guys. I'm just going to fold over a corner here. The secret, we haven't sprayed this board yet, so it's still got all the tape and stuff around it now. Just a quick sidebar on this, we do use two 2x4s that we put together to make a 4x4, and the only reason we do that is for storage. And these will eventually be sprayed black and have like a star system painted on them, ready for attack wing. But yes, so obviously this is a bad example because it isn't a hill. But yeah, I can see how you could put a hill under that and still use it. The only thing I would say is a disadvantage is obviously it changes the size of the board. You're no longer a 4 foot by 4 foot. But in terms of the material itself, it is thin enough that you could put hills and stuff under it. And they do this in obviously different sizes, 6x4s, 2x4s, 3x3s, and with the cloth ones as well, you can get any size made to order. So I think you can do like 8x4s, 8x8s, 12x4s, etc. What we're going to do now is we're going to go over and look at the website and see the copious amounts of choice that we have on there. Yeah, so let's go and do it. So right guys, welcome back over to the desk, and as we just saw before, we looked at one of their mats. So this is their website, and it's tinywargames.co.uk, and they do have a YouTube channel as well. It's only got a few subscribers, and there's only a couple of videos on it at the moment. It may be something that they've just abandoned. I'm not sure, but give them a like and a subscribe. Watch the videos that are there and give them a subscribe so that maybe they'll put more stuff up if they get their subscriber base up. Maybe it's just something they don't use anymore. I'm not sure, but either way, it's always worth checking them out anyway. But we're going to go straight to the website and we're going to look at prices and materials. So as I said in the video before, they do cloth, which is washable. It can be ironed, as I mentioned. It's foldable and it sits over terrain. We did try that and it didn't work brilliantly, but that's purely based on the fact that it's going to change the size of your board. But it does mean that if you've got one board and you buy another one, you've got a 6x4, you could put a 4x4 in the middle of it to go over some hills and stuff. So if you have desert hills and they're going to look silly on your grass board, you could put those over and it would look really good and it would be really effective. So I still maintain that they do sit over terrain. And then they do rubber. And the rubber's washable, rollable, foldable and durable. And it says here that it's quite possibly the best gaming mat in the world. That's a bold claim, but it's certainly one I want to check out in the future. I definitely think we'll be getting a rubber mat to check out. Now, with regards to the cloth mats, they do take around about a week to get there. And we got ours with a 4-day turnaround, so that was really, really good. And it says that for rubber, it can be 2 weeks. And then as you can see, you've got your pricing structure here. So 3x3, which is quite common in a lot of games now, is £30. 4x4, again common, £39, and 6x4 is £55. And then of course it says that other sizes please ask, and you can get cloth in any size. And then if we just quickly look down here, 3x3 is £49. 4x4 is £65, so that is quite a jump up from the £39, but the quality, obviously, as I said, they maintain is a lot better. And then 6x4 is £95 as opposed to £55. But again, you're paying for a better quality material, so that makes sense. Now, all the prices on the website, when you go to online store, they actually are the cloth, and then I think you have to contact them with regards to choosing the rubber, but we'll have a look at that in a second. So what we're going to do now is we're going to go across to the custom mat section. So this is the custom mats, and the first thing it says straight away on there is, please note, custom works can take up to 2 months to produce, and also that there's no returns or refunds on custom work because it's all bespoke. So obviously it takes 2 months because they have to get it right. There's no point sending you a product that isn't what you wanted because you can't get a refund on it. So it's very important, and give them the time to do that work. That being said, it does state here, as you can read on the screen, we are able to produce custom mats to your designs with a hex or no hex in any colour, shape or size. Send us a PDF or a rough drawing of your own artwork to info@tinywargames.co.uk, or visit our main designer, and then it's got his Facebook link on there if you wanted to connect with him. And then it says they also recolor old maps, and then it shows you some examples of that. And some of these maps look really, really cool. But what it does, and this is what we were talking about the other day, myself and Alan, is you could technically pick a topographical map of Gateshead, for instance, and you could send them that, and they could make you a wargaming map of Gateshead, meaning that you could, or Newcastle Town Centre, for instance, which means you could play Drop Fleet over your hometown or your home city, which I think is a really, really cool idea. And obviously you'd send them a design, they'd give you the pricing and such. But as I was saying, they're based in the UK, they're based in Kent, which is really, really cool. To my knowledge, unless I'm wrong, and feel free to correct me if I am wrong, they're the only wargaming map company that are based in the UK. As I said, to my knowledge, I know there's a load based in Europe, and we are going to be reviewing some of the other mats we've got from some of the other companies, because we've got a lot of mats from a lot of different companies, and people keep asking us where we get our mats from and stuff like that. So we're going to have a look down now, and as I said, and it says here as well, all mats are cloth unless otherwise stated, and rubber mats are special order and just ask. So you can see some of the type of stuff they do. They've got Death Star, a race track, Drop Fleet, loads and loads of Drop Fleet and Drop Zone. There's so many pages worth. We're not going to look at them all. We're just going to go down and look at a few. More topographical style maps. You've got like roadie based ones, arid deserts of varying sizes. Obviously the grass one that I've got, the big coastal ones. Some really, really cool ones like this. I really love this. And I definitely think that would be something. It was something we were actually going to buy, this specific mat, when we were playing a lot of the Marvel Universe game before Night Models obviously disappointed us so tremendously that we kind of dropped most of their, or all of their game systems at present, especially after the stuff with Red Beam Designs as well. But this isn't about any other company, this is about Tiny Wargames. So you can see the difference in the maps that they do, and we're going to pop straight across to page 4, because this has one of my favourite maps, which is the zombie map. I very much think at some point we're going to be picking this up for the Walking Dead All Out War. I'm not sure which one. Maybe just something like that, 2 foot by 2 foot would be really cool. But what we actually find is with our Walking Dead stuff, we need a bit more open space ones. So that's got too many roady bits. But something like this, for instance, if we took a 2 foot square of this, and this is beautiful. So if we had kind of, I don't know, maybe this area or something like that, I think that would be really cool. And because these guys do custom maps, you can literally find that picture 6 by 6 and you can just mark out, I want that much. So you could just highlight like here, or now there are the pictures. So you could just highlight that box really and say, I just want this road bit, so it's a border of road, this is the size, and they would make it to that specification. Could potentially take up to 2 months, but potentially could be worth it. But yes, so they do a load of really cool stuff. As I was saying, they do Guild Ball, marked out pictures. I believe there's some on the second page. We'll have a quick look. I don't want to spend too much time showing you these because I want you guys to go and look at the website yourself. But yeah, All we'd ask is, obviously, if you guys look and you do see something on here you like, or you see something you want to get made, and you do contact them with regards to buying it, just drop our name in. Once again, we're not getting paid to promote this in any way. This is just the first in our series of reviews on different wargaming manufacturers, because we do use a lot, and obviously we are even going to review the Games Workshop ones because they're really nice, to be honest. But yeah, so you get like the football ones there, and that's really cool. You can get your logo put in the middle, which I think is a really nice touch, like a Mars one, some sort of ones that would work for Star Trek Attack Wing and stuff like that. Boat ones, so if you play Blood and Plunder, so many drop fleet and drop zone ones in here. It's absolutely unbelievable, and a lot of them are so gorgeous. So in terms of it, I haven't checked out a rubber mat yet, but I very much would like to, and certainly that could be something we looked at in the future. This is a potential, especially with my new kind of looking towards the Gangs of Rome. Picking up something like that might be a possibility, especially because with some well placed buildings on it as well, that would work perfectly well for Batman or something like that. Ruined cities, rubber football pitches, maybe you could place a beauty on that, I'm not quite sure. Fun fact, the first ever tabletop war game I ever played was on the back of a Subbuteo mat at a friend's house. Not relevant to this, but interesting nonetheless, at least from my perspective. You guys are probably thinking, I don't care. But no, getting back to this, because Tiny Wargames, really nice website. The only problem I personally have with the website is I would like it to be a lot more accessible in terms of, I mean, I can just type grass mat and it'll bring up all the grass mats, and there's all of them. But it would be nice if they were in sections like some of the other companies were. But it is very alphabetized, so if you know that what you're looking for is a zombie map, then chances are it's going to be on page 4, because Z. But no, in terms of the map itself, it's really good. I'm looking forward to doing a battle report on it, and I think it'll be when I teach Alan to play Middle-earth strategy battle games. But other than that, check these guys out. Check out their YouTube, give them a subscribe. If you do buy anything, give our name, just so they're like, hey, those Rage Against the Dice kids are cool. And then maybe they'll come across and check our channel as well. It's all extra traffic, isn't it? But no, thank you guys very much for watching. As always, like, subscribe, leave a comment in the box below. Share our video around. If you think, oh, I've got a friend who's looking for a wargaming mat, let them know that we're doing a series of reviews on different wargaming mats, different types, different textures. We've got some mouse mat ones, we've got some vinyl ones. Yeah, feel free to pass it along. One thing I would suggest though is if you're looking for a really good quality, quick gaming mat, you can't really go wrong than the 4 foot, 6 foot or 3 foot grass cloth one. Thank you guys very much for watching. As always, pray the dice gods and hope they smile upon you. Take care.